You know something? I'm really getting tired of this whole debate about who the Indians are, why. You know what I mean? So you got these people online. I guess all of a sudden now, since you got so many of them Native Americans that's being transported out by ICE. So now the Native American people, or whoever them people is out west, them Asians, the Mongolians, you know, we talk about them all the time, but they are getting in an uproar now. So now they got something to say. They got rap songs to make and other things that we produce naturally that they decide that now they want to take those on as their own, I guess, to identify themselves as Indians. Hope that didn't fly over nobody's head. But I want to read now from Cornell Law School, because it's not going to make sense until it makes sense, honestly. And shit, what I'm sitting on the sidelines for? Y'all know I do this shit. But let's go. So, Cornell Law School, just so y'all can see what I'm looking at. Cornell Law School, LLI, whatever. And we looking there, it says American Indian. I'm going to read this here. I'm going to break it down. Because when it comes down to legal terminology, the legal system, especially federally, they have to operate in a state of honor. Okay? The legal dishonoring normally falls within the realm of the states and how the states are being governed. Because the states being governed and the Fed governing is two totally different things. But anyway, let's go. So an American Indian or Indian. Now, we're dealing with law. So that means we got to be aware of what every word is. I'm going to tell you something. Most niggas don't know how to read. Not properly. You don't know how to read properly. Otherwise, you would understand context. This is why these so-called Native American people that look Mongolian and they look like Mexicans and they also look like Chinese people and they also look like Thailand people and they also look like Alaskan Native people that also don't belong there, and they also look like the people that's down in Mexico that's calling themselves the Olmecs and the Mayas. They're lying as well, and they also look like the Venezuelans, and they're all one group of people. It's all one group of people. So when you read in the legal knowledge, you have to understand that a word can hold multiple different meanings, especially how it's used in the context of sentence structure. Exactly. Okay. So when I say or, okay, that's two different people, two different groups of people. American Indian or Indian. Because if you're an Indian, why do you need to be called American? Okay, now listen. American signifies ownership in sentence structure. So that means that those Indians belong to the government. The American Indians belong to the government. Or Indian is the original people that was already here, because their classification before it was colored and before it was mulatto and before it was African American and black, it was Indian. Okay? You don't believe me? Just trace back your family history. Look at their documentation. People that look like me. I'm not talking about these other folks that stole last names. We'll get into that later. Okay? Now, Indian means any individual who is a member or a descendant, there we go, of a member, okay, of a North American tribe, band, pueblo, or other organized group of native people who are indigenous to the continental United States. Okay? Now that's talking about two separate groups of people. Okay? Member of North American tribe, band. You got the band of Porch band of this. That's the secondary units. Okay, that's where the white folks come in. Okay, that's when they start trying to classify themselves in. Okay? Pueblo. If you know about a Pueblo, then you know. Okay? Pueblo is a group or a committee, but normally you see them out there out west with those type of like dirt type structures, okay, which is still a nomadic group. The only group of people that are indigenous there, they're going to dig into the earth. They're not going to build teepees and move around. They're not going to build simple structures that you can tear down quick and move around because they're nomads. That is not an American Indian. That is not indigenous Indian. Let's start using that terminology. That's not an indigenous Indian. All right. All right. Now, or who otherwise listen. So you're saying a North American tribe, native people who are indigenous to the continental United States, that's one group, or who otherwise have a special relationship with the United States or a state through treaty, agreement, or some other form of recognition. Why would they put that terminology in there unless there are people who are operating under a state through treaty, an agreement, a special relationship with the United States, or some other form of recognition? Who falls into that category? If the Native Americans out west are the true Indians of America, who else would need a special recognition to be recognized by the United States as something that they're not? Via treaty, agreement, or some other form of recognition or special relationship. Who would need that? It wouldn't exist if nobody was under it. So that means there has to be groups of people that are underneath special relationships with the United States or special treaties or agreements or other forms of recognition, the Dawes Rolls, that they have come up and contractualized themselves with the government to graft themselves into a place they do not belong. Who could that be? Because what I see now is Indian lands with casinos under contract, special contract with the government, where they're exempt. Okay? That's all over the land. Those are special contracts with the government that makes them tax exempt. Are those the real Indians? Are those people who have a special relationship with the United States or are dealing with the state itself through a treaty, agreement, or some form of recognition? Could that be those people? Or are those the real Indians that are controlling the casinos? I doubt it. Those are not the real Indians. Those are the fake ones. Those are the ones with a special relationship with the United States to call them something that they're not, so that they can pretend to access something that they're not supposed to have access to. I'm ready for my people to wake up. I'm not even praying for y'all no more. I'm not even praying for y'all no more. Pray for what? Pray to who? The Most High. Don't need to pray. The microcosm has a Most High just like the macrocosm does. I'm the dude they shadow ban before I even get 100 followers. There has to be a reason for that. I'm your man Luke, man. Y'all follow me everywhere. Luke 1817. Holla.